All right, let's get started. Now that we know our lingo, we are going to draw some of these things. All right, and so the first thing we got to talk about is that every time you go from one axis to another, so every time you go like from here to here, it's 90 degrees. When you go from here to here, it's 90 degrees, and so on and so forth. And the way you can think about that is most of us can remember that a circle is 360 degrees, right? And so if you split that up into four quadrants, right, then you should hopefully be able to remember that each quadrant is 90 degrees. And so that's what we kind of do. And like your benchmark numbers that you're going to kind of want to know and sort of remember are 90, 180, 270, it's not 273, 360. And the reason we want to know these is because we can use those kind of in reference to sort of see where our terminal sides are going to be for our angles, right? And excuse me, and it goes up, continues to go up, by 90. And then once you understand that, I think understanding your increments of 180 over that. So like 180, that's a 540, like a lot of people, and then 720, right? And pretty much anything like that, bigger than that, you can use a calculator on. But that's what we kind of need to know when we plot these. All right. So we're going to get started. We got 215 degrees. So we're always going to start right here. This is our vertex. We're going to draw a ray going there. That is our initial side, and it's 215 degrees. It is positive, so we know this thing is going to go counterclockwise, right, because it's positive. Now, 215 degrees, you just say, okay, how many times is 90 go into that without going over to kind of get an idea of what it crosses? Well, we know this is 90, this would be 180, so it's going to be in here somewhere, right? So you would just go to figure out like what the remainder of the degree is, just kind of go 218 minus 180, right? You're going to get 5 and then 3, right? And so like it's basically another 35 degrees. And so the way I remember that is I always know that each thing is split. Like these are always 45 degrees, right? These are 45 degrees when you cut this in half. So 35 degrees from here, if we're going around this way, is going to be a little less than that. So it's going to be kind of like that, right? And so when we graph it, now the only thing we got to do is we got to put in our rotation marker. I'm sure there's a name for it. I will try to find out what it is. But I'm going to use red to show you what it is. And so we're going to take this. And what this does is this shows us the angle of the measure, right? This shows us what this thing actually is. And we say it's 215 degrees. Try to label it so you know what it is. We know from this marker that it's going around. We know it's only going around a little. It hasn't gone around a full rotation yet, and it's positive. So all that information we can glean just from seeing this. All right, let's look at letter B. So we got negative 40 degrees. Okay, so we're going to start with our initial side. So we're going to start with this going like this. So I'm going to put a little dot here for the origin for the vertex, right? And negative 40 degrees means we're going this way. We're going clockwise, right? So we're starting. That is a really, really bad clockwise drawing, but it's early. All right, and then it's not going to quite go halfway. So we're going to kind of take this and sort of go like that and just sort of get it close. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to use red to show the rotation is going this way, right? So call that like the direction of rotation. It's going this way, and then I will label it as 40, negative 40 degrees. And you should label it with the negative, right? That negative is always part of it. The negative isn't just something you use when you put it, and then once you think, well, they can tell it's negative. No, keep it with it, right? So that you can see it. All right, let's keep going. So 80 degrees. So you notice you're always going to start these with your initial, right? Your initial side right here in your vertex. 80 degrees is not quite 90 degrees, so we're not quite getting to this next quadrant. So I'm just going to kind of, it's 10 degrees off. So I'm going to, kind of draw something that goes sort of up here like this, put a thing there, and then we will start here. And the direction is very important because it's positive, right? So we're going counterclockwise. All right, so this one was counterclockwise, and so we would say 80 degrees and leave that as positive. Let's do our last one. So negative 105 degrees. Okay, so we're going to take that. We're going to start here. This is our initial side. And then negative 105 degrees. Well, 105 degrees yeah, it's 15 degrees more than 90, right? So I know I'm going to go more than this, right? And so I'm going to go into here, right? And that's, not probably more than 15 degrees, but you get the idea, right? And so I'm going to show my arrow going this way because it's going clockwise. That's the direction it goes. And I would label it negative 105 degrees. And that's pretty much what you're doing with these, right? It's just kind of referencing it to 90, seeing where it is, see how many times it hits that 90 and goes around, right? And then mark your terminal side, and then just make sure you declare kind of like what direction you're going in, right? And that's going to be really important when we start getting to angles that go around more than 360 degrees, right? And we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. So that's how these work. We will see you in the next video.